everybody, it's Nat here. Hope you're all doing well. I've just managed to finish my dishes, washing, and I've been out in the yard planting some baby spinach and doing some weeding. So I thought that's it. I can get in now without guilt and do some crafting. So what I want to do today is have a bit of fun with one of the stencils that I got from Artcreatlove. So I want to have a go with this one, which is number 8. And it has the stag on it and a nice mountain background. So I think we will do that. So I have got some water, some washi tape, my stickies, plastic mat just to sit my paper on. I've got some watercolour paper here, just a pad that I picked up from the second-hand shop. So I'm just going to tear a page of this out. Just put that there. Then what I thought I would do is get my stencil where I want it, which would be about there. And then I'm going to stick it down with my washi tape just to hold it while I do my painting. Now, I can't paint, disclaimer, at all. I say that about most things because it's true. But I thought I'd give this a go. It'll be interesting to see how the pattern comes out. So I'm just putting a bit of washi in all 4 corners, and because the stencil doesn't reach to the edges of the paper, it means I'm grabbing the stencil, the paper and the mat, which will hold it nicely for me. So there we go. Okay, now, one thing I do know about watercolour paints is people do wet on wet and wet on dry. So I'll be doing wet on dry because I don't want it to bleed much under the stencil. So I'm not going to wet the paper first or anything like that. I don't mind if it bleeds a little bit because it gives that nice watercolour effect, but I want to see the shapes in the stencil. So I don't want it bleeding too much. So this is my little watercolour set that my daughter gave me. So we'll pick our colours out of that, and I've got a paper towel just to blot my brush off on when I need it. Now, I was going to try with my water brush, like my water pen thingy, but too much water comes out. So, and it's very hard to control at times, so I thought I would just use my brush like this. So, I'm just thinking what I want to do first. Might do the trees first. So I want a dark green for those. Might turn it around this way. Let's see if we can get that down more. Yep, that works. Just to wet the paints a bit. So what I think I will do is just speed it up for you, or else it'll get a bit boring, I am sure. And paint away, and we'll see what it turns out like in the end. So I've got my white Signo pen here, and that's really easy to go in on the top of your mountains and just add a bit of snow. You could do it on your trees and that as well if you wanted. You can just add some sort of little rivulets around the place. You could, of course, do this with your paint as well. But I'm not that good with my paint, if you can't tell. But it's easy to control your Signo pens. Or other gel pens. I assume other gel pens would work just as good as well. Just add some little snow caps. Go back in afterwards if you need a little more. They are very subtle. So yeah, I mean, I'll probably end up keeping these and maybe growing out my coloured pencils sometime and just having a bit of a play and seeing what I can do. It's probably the best way that I can learn. But if I tried to paint something like this with my watercolours, I would have no luck. I mean, I might be able to do the snow and the little river part that I did down here. Maybe some of the trees. But as far as the deer, not a hope. It would just be a blob. So I really love the idea of using the stencils to do a scenery like this. And then just to play around with it afterwards. And do various things with your different mediums. So this is the one that I did last night. As I said, initially I used my watercolour pen and it just put out too much water. And when I did it, I was like doing all river, and then I realised that this probably is all snow down here. But then I thought I wanted to do a little bit of river, like the snow had melted into a river or whatever. So I decided to do another one. But I actually think I did better at keeping within the lines and not going out too much on this one than I did on that one, especially with the sun or moon or whatever it is there. So, and I like the deer better here because I did the dark brown for his antlers. So they're the two pictures that I've done with that stencil with the watercolours. So do try using watercolour in your stencils. It is heaps of fun. Something different to give a go. So I shall be back on again sometime in the next few days, no doubt, with another video using some of the goodies that I got from Artcreatlove. So stay tuned for that. So take care of yourselves. Happy crafting, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.